Hey girl, can we talk about that moment when you have to let your partner or husband take the blows with the kids? And by blows, I don't mean physical. I mean the tantrums, the crying, the I want mommy, the meltdowns, the resistance, the emotional fallout. Because if you're the default parent, you know what I'm talking about. You walk in the room and suddenly everybody wants you. You leave the room and suddenly everybody is losing it. And sometimes you have to fight the urge to jump in. Because if you don't, your partner never gets the chance to build authority, connection, or confidence with the kids. And that is hard. There's this instinct in us, especially as moms, to rescue, to smooth it over, to translate what the toddler meant, to stop the crying faster, to fix it. Because we can. We know their cues, we know their tone, we know the difference between a tired cry and a manipulative cry. But here's the uncomfortable truth: if we always step in, we become the only safe regulator in the house. And that creates imbalance. So sometimes you have to sit there, literally biting your tongue, while your child screams for you, and dad is right there trying to figure it out. And you feel like the villain. Like, why am I not helping? Why am I letting this escalate? Why does this feel so uncomfortable? Because you're breaking a pattern, and patterns fight back. Kids are smart. They know who gives in faster. They know who explains longer. They know whose arms feel most familiar. But that doesn't mean dad isn't capable. It just means he hasn't had the same reps. And reps only come with space, and space only comes when we allow it. Now let's talk about the emotional side. Sometimes letting dad take the heat feels like letting your baby suffer, especially if your partner parents differently. Maybe he's firmer. Maybe he doesn't overexplain. Maybe he lets them cry a little longer than you would, and you're sitting there thinking, that's not how I would do it. But different doesn't automatically mean wrong. And if he's not being unsafe or harmful, just different, then part of co-parenting is tolerating that difference. Because your kids don't need two identical parents. They need two secure ones. And here's another layer nobody talks about. Sometimes we unconsciously reinforce being the default parent because it makes us feel needed. It feels validating. It feels powerful to be the one they run to. But that same dynamic can leave you exhausted, resentful, touched out. So if you want rest, if you want partnership, if you want to not be the only emotional manager in the house, you have to let him build capacity. And capacity comes with discomfort. For him, for the kids, and for you. It might look like you leaving the house while he handles bedtime, you not correcting him mid-discipline, you staying upstairs while he works through a meltdown, you resisting the urge to narrate what the child really means. It's uncomfortable. But every time you don't step in immediately, you're telling your child, dad is safe too. And you're telling your partner, I trust you. And trust grows responsibility. Now, let's be clear. This is not about tolerating incompetence. Weaponized incompetence is real. If he's pretending not to know how to parent so you'll take over, that's different. But if he's genuinely learning, let him learn. Even if it's messy, even if it's louder than you'd like, even if it takes longer. Because long term, you don't want to be the only one who can calm them down. You don't want to be the only bedtime option. You don't want to be the only emotional translator. You deserve partnership. And partnership means sometimes letting dad take the heat. Even when it would be easier to jump in. Even when your nervous system is flaring. Even when they're yelling, mommy, mommy. That doesn't make you neglectful. It makes you strategic. You're building a family dynamic where responsibility is shared. And girl, that's not cold. That's wise.